Let's talk about how you complete our short table quiz. Now, looking at this, I'm not going to go over actually typing in the information except for maybe the degree symbol. I want to concentrate on how to create this table, how to do the structure, maybe change the colors, work with the TDs, THs. Okay, now in order to recreate this table, again, the color of it doesn't matter to me. It can be green, blue, whatever you want as a background color. But we have to concentrate on things like the T-foot area, the caption area, and anything else we might want to change, such as how we span certain areas. Okay, let's go look at the code. Now, again, the code itself, where we tell it that we have a body, and within that we have a table, and how we would create that part of it, I'm not concerned with the content. But in order to work with the actual spanning and getting the information to take two cells and merge it into one, let's talk about that part of it. First off, we are starting off with a table tag. Within that table, I've told you had to have a caption. So my open, close, caption area, depending on the browser, it'll wind up in its default area. Now, again, in order to get a row of information to always wind up at the bottom of the table, no matter where you put it in the table structure, if we do a T-foot, open and close, then use the appropriate TR for the row, and either a TD or a TH for the column. It will always wind up at the bottom. Now on this one, we had the August update in 2 weeks spread across the entire table. We see that within any one part of the table that we have a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So by the time we finish, there will always be 5 columns in a row, even if we have to span and merge those, it will still add up to 5. Let's go back and look. Okay, so we have to tell it that it is a call span of 5, and it will merge all 5 columns into one row. Now, as we go down to the city, January, and July, now again, city, January, and July. January takes up 2 columns. July takes up 2 columns. City only takes up 1 column, but it takes up 2 rows. How do we accomplish this? Well, on this, within the first row, it has a row span of 2 for city. 1, 2, 1, 2. It spans across 2 rows. January and July has a column span of 2. July, 1, 2. January, 1, 2. That's how you wind up knowing how to row and column span, is add up the numbers. They will always give you the maximum number of columns in a row. Now, as we go down, here's the degree symbol. That is also the ASCII number for the degree symbol that we can make show up. As we go down, every time we hit a cell that needs to span either rows or columns, 34 spans 2 rows. 60 spans 2 columns. So therefore, again, the 34 has a row span of 2. '60 has a call span of 2. So again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 TDs, but this TD counts as 2, so we can get our number of 5. It's time to go on to do things such as the cells, borders. the color, and anything else we might want to do to it. Now, on these, we're going to do these as embedded. So in the embedded, in between the heading tags, we want to affect the table as a border. Now, when we look at that, if we left it to the table, we would only get the border on the very outside, not any of the inside. Some other things you might think about on this, we have a border of 1 pixel. It is a solid border and it is black. Other things you might think about, if we did things like, instead of solid, do an outset or an inset. Remember the border collapse. Also, to get more space between each cell, remember the padding. Okay, now the background color. I want a background color here, whatever color you want. You could tell it as the name of the color, the number of the color, or the red, green, blue of the color. This one will look like this because I have it in blue. Now notice these 2 cells, or any of the 2 cells side by side, have a space between it. That's because I have not collapsed these. So if I collapse the border, I would get rid of the little space on each area. That concludes our quick review of tables, how to work with the row and column spans, and there is a lot more to tables. This is just the foundations of them. Thank you.